kitty cats. So I was gonna do lipstick declutter next, but there's some like issues with finding all the lipsticks right now. That's how many I have, that they're scattered across the house too. So I decided to do my palettes today instead. So you are getting all these lovely palettes we're going to go through. So to start off, I've got this nice like Marc Jacobs one, and go open it up. I always have trouble opening things up, if you haven't noticed. Sadly, the mirror got smashed on this, but there are some really nice colors. I have used this recently, and so I will keep it. This one, I was gonna get rid of this one last year. It was supposed to be gotten rid of. I keep it for this one little color, and I've tried to get that out of there and have not been able to do it, even though you're supposed to be able to get it out, because I want that color. The rest of it doesn't even matter to me. So until I can figure out a way to get that color out, I'm keeping it. Rawr. So that's why it's still here, because I really love that color. Then we got my Winky Lux. I'm definitely keeping this, and yeah, I'm going to be keeping more than getting rid of. I think it's just kind of obvious with palettes that I'm probably going to be keeping more of them than I'm getting rid of them. I'm going to be getting rid of some that I don't use, but I mean, to me, that's the point of decluttering, is getting rid of things you don't use. I'm not going to get rid of stuff that I never use, that I use, so, or that I really, really, you know, want to use. Sometimes when I do this, I end up going, oh yeah, I remember this, because it was at the bottom of something, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then I end up using it again. So anyways, this is the Winky Lux Kitten palette. There were a lot of people actually that didn't like this palette. I do. I like it quite a bit. And I've used it a few times, more than a few. And I suspect I'll be using it a lot in the future. It's not just because of the name. The name, of course, attracted me to it. But I do have some colors here that I really like. This color here, and this color here, and even this color. And then the rest are very, you know, like basic palette colors that you can do the look with. So I appreciate it. And I don't have any blending issues with it. I heard some people did not find them to blend well. I didn't have that issue. This, of course, my Elements of Surprise ColourPop palette. We all know I'm keeping this one because I love this palette and have used it quite a bit. So, and I think you can tell because it's a bit dirty here and there, and it's obvious that I've used it. So that is staying. This is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. I haven't used it as much as I thought that I would. I really like Urban Decay, which I've heard a lot of people say they do not like Urban Decay. I can't figure that out, because for me, they've been great, but we're all different, I guess, in what we appreciate. I have used this. I just haven't used it in a while, but I think that's because I had it kind of hidden away on the back shelf, because it just looks so pretty. So I had it like on display, because I think that the packaging is really pretty. So, you know, I am gonna keep this. Almost thought about getting rid of it, but now I'll be keeping this. This is a Rimmel little, I don't think, yeah. I've never used this. It was a recent gift to me. So I'm gonna be keeping it because I wanna give it, you know, a few tries. I hear Rimmel is pretty good, so I'm gonna keep it just so that I can try it out. This is definitely going. This is the Catrice Absolute Rose eyeshadow palette. It had come, I think, like in one of my very first Glossyboxes, and of course you can see that this one is like all broken. I did press it back in, but it's not staying well. And the colors, personally, I think are not pigmented enough and are just, it's just not for me. So that will be going. I'll put it in the stuff that's for people to go through. This is the Wet n Wild glitter palette. There are different ones. Which one is this? Heavy Metals. You can see it has been used, and I'm sure I will be using it again. So I do like this. It will be staying. This is the Tartelette Tease. This used to be like my everyday palette because it's small, easy to use, and very simple colors. You know, kind of neutral. Even, excuse me, sorry. They're kind of neutral, even though they are like some shimmery colors in there. And as you can see, Whisper has been used to like death. And Crush I've hit pan on as well, just slightly. And I don't know, it's really hard for me because, you know, I'm not gonna be buying any new Tarte products for a while until they get their act together, which I don't know if they ever will. But I am not buying from them right now because of the fact that their shade ranges are terrible, and I'm trying to stay away from foundations that have terrible shade ranges and don't do anything about it. So, which kind of limits me a bit. I'm quite pale myself, so a lot of companies do make shades that, you know, are for me, but they don't tend to make shades for those that are darker, and it's just kind of disgusting that there is not shades for them. It's ridiculous. This is 2018. So anyways, getting right back to this. Yeah, so it's hard for me. I don't use this as much as I used to, but when I do want to put some quick makeup on, I do still grab it. So I am gonna keep it. This is the Clinique. It's really not a palette, it's, you know, a quad. It's cute, but I don't use it very much, so I think I'm gonna let it go. And you know, there's some cute colors in here. It's not horrible. It's just I don't really use it that much. I think I've only used it like 2 or 3 times. So I'm gonna let that move on. This is the Smoky Eye set from Essence. I don't believe I've ever used it. I don't know. It's a nice little set, but it's only 3 shadows, which I find very odd for a smoky eye set. I would think it would be a quad. This isn't even really a palette. I think I'm gonna let my daughter have it if she wants it. This is the e.l.f. Everyday Smoky that I've had forever. I don't even know, do they still even make this? I'm not sure. I used to use this quite a bit, but I haven't in a long time, and I think it's time for me to let it go. So, goodbye. Goodbye. Another e.l.f. palette. This is the Baked Eyeshadow Palette. I've always really liked that blue, but I also have other palettes that have a blue like that. And I don't really like baked eyeshadows that much. They actually kind of bother me. I feel like you don't get as much pigment off of baked eyeshadows like this. I prefer pressed. So, yeah, I think I'm letting this one go too. It's time for... That one I've had even longer than the other one as well. So, the Love You So Mochi that I just got recently, and I've already been using quite a bit, and so yeah, that's staying. No, just staying with it. This was something I got recently. It doesn't have like a name. However, it's actually pretty pigmented. I've used it a few times. I like it. I just wish I knew where it came from. I know someone, you know, Christine Sanders, Fierce Glam Mom, sent it to me. I just wish I knew who made it. She said, I think she said it came from Amazon. So, but they're pretty pigmented. I think I'm gonna keep it. We're keeping it in the house. My Beauty Killer palette is definitely staying. I haven't used it as much as I used to, but also for the same reason as the Gwen Stefani. It's very pretty, so I had it like on display. But I do like these colors. They're very blendable. They're pigmented. The Naked Urban Decay Heat. I love this palette so much. It works very well for me. They're beautiful, warm colors, and they are amazing with my skin and eye color, the whole thing. So yeah, this is definitely staying with me. Love it. The NYX Avant Pop. I heard a lot of people hate this. It's an art throb. There's a few NYX Avant Pops. I've heard people say horrible things about this. I don't have issues with it. I've used it a lot. I used it a lot this past Halloween when I was doing a look, you know, like almost every day for Instagram. When I did like 31 days of Halloween on Instagram, I used this a lot for that. And I think it's a really great palette. I think it's quite pigmented. I don't have any issues with blending with it, so I don't know why it's hated, but it is. The Blush Nudes from Maybelline. I remember at one time I loved this palette. You could see that I used it, especially this color here. I never hit pan on any of it though, and honestly over time I've been like, you know what, it's really not that pigmented. It's really not that great. At one time I thought it was wonderful, but I don't know, it seems like the older it gets, the less the shadows seem to blend well. It's weird. Like, I don't know. So I feel like it's no good anymore, and I'm gonna like let that go. The Hard Candy matte. The mattes, you know. I still like this. I think it's always good to have an all matte palette, and this is my all matte palette, so it is staying. It's really hard for me, the Stardust one here. This used to be like my all-time ride or die favorite palette. I used it a lot. I still like it quite a bit. But I haven't used it because it was like at the bottom of the drawer and I totally just kind of forgot about it. But now that I have it out, I'm like, ooh, remember this and remember that. So I'd like to give it, I'd like to play around with it. So, my Morphe. Morphe and JCat, man. They don't make them that easy to open, in my opinion. But, you know, I'm gonna pack this up a little bit so that you can really, it's hard to really get a good look at these. I find it to be a beautiful palette. I like Morphe eyeshadows. I used to use this a lot when I first got it. I don't use it as much, but gosh, those purples are so pigmented and so beautiful. Yeah, it's definitely staying with me from when I'm feeling purple. Last one is the JCat one. Also one that I just have trouble opening. There we go. A lot of colors, very pigmented. I really like it. So, and JCat has become a favorite of mine. So, look at that yellow. I mean, really. And these green here and turquoise-like color. Like, the colors are just really nice. So, that one's staying. I'm gonna put these away, except for the ones that I am gonna put back on display. The Morphe one doesn't really fit that well into my drawer, so it ends up being put on display. How am I gonna put all this away? I don't know. This is gonna go back on display. So, what do you think of the choices I made? Do you feel that I made good choices, or do you think I made bad choices? Are any of these ones that you really don't like, or are you in agreement with me on the ones that I like? Ah, these drawers, man. This one particular drawer that I keep these in, everything just slides out. These are all staying. There's actually a lot less in here than there was before. What to do? Okay. These are the ones that are going there, and you guys probably would like to see all the ones that I'm getting rid of again. These are all the ones I'm getting rid of. The Smoky Essence, because I just feel like there's not enough shadows in this. The Clinique I used a few times, but it's just not something I reach for. The e.l.f. Everyday Smoky that I've just had a really long time and don't reach for it anymore. I don't do smoky eyes that much anymore actually either. The Blush Nudes, just not as pigmented as I once thought they were. I don't know. Weird. Not really crazy about baked eyeshadows, plus I've had this for an eternity. And the Catrice Absolute Rose eyeshadow palette is just not pigmented or really that blendable. So there you go. That's what I'm getting rid of. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and let me know what you think about which ones you thought, you know, I should keep or shouldn't keep, or what you would keep if they were your stuff. Okie dokie. Thanks for watching, and please remember to share, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, hit that bell if you want notifications, and you can find me on other social media down below in the information. There's my Instagram, my Twitter, and stuff like that. Okay. Bye-bye, kitty cats.